Oh, and welcome to B Movie Euphoria's 31 Days of Horror, Day 17. Uh, I got a couple movies in the mail today, so uh, I watched one of them, and it was pretty good. Let's first let me show you what I got. Just none of these have covers, so there isn't really a visual aid. So I apologize. Today's film is Hunter's Blood. Ooh, great, great title. I think I bought most of these not really knowing what they were and just kind of going by their title alone. This is the one I'm very excited for. Uh, Satanic Mechanic. It's gonna be something. I hope. And then we have ah, Scalpel. Now that looks pretty freaky too. Alright. There. And last but not least, this is the one I do know about, and I'm kind of excited, kind of apprehensive about. Kevin Tenney's Witch Trap. It does have Linnea Quigley in it. It is Kevin Tenney, who also did Witchboard and Night of the Demons, so that might be good. But the movie we're talking about today is 1986 Rednexploitation classic. Well, not really a classic because not that many people know about it. Hunter's Blood. Now, a lot of people say, or I've read a lot of reviews saying, it's just a Deliverance ripoff. This is just basically taking the basic plot of Deliverance, a bunch of city folk going out into the country to do some hunting, and then running afoul of some local hillbillies, and then a bloodbath ensues. Yeah, okay. So yeah, it does kind of take all that from that. But this one has Joey Travolta. Okay? So say what you will about Deliverance and the great direction and Burt Reynolds and John Voight and Squeal Like a Pig. This one has Joey Travolta. Yes. That's right. The maybe not as famous, but clearly more talented brother of John Travolta. So this movie starts off with Sam Bottoms, the actor Sam Bottoms, who is the brother of Timothy Bottoms. And if you haven't watched any of these reviews, you probably haven't seen my review of Ripper Man, in which Timothy Bottoms was in, and he played Ripper Man, and boy oh boy, what a performance he did in that. This is his brother, Sam, and they look very similar, and their acting is, pretty similar too. Sadly, Sam Bottoms died not too long ago of a brain tumor at like 56, which is kind of sad because he was good. I thought he was great in this. So Sam Bottoms is in this. His father is played by Clu Gulager, who, besides having the greatest name ever in Hollywood, is one of the great B movie actors. He's in. Just name a great B movie and he'll be in it. So Sam Bottoms and his father and a couple other guys, including Joey Travolta, decide to go out for a hunting trip. One of the guys owns a big hunk of land because his company is basically going to deforest it and set up pig farms or whatever. I'm not really sure. But before they do, they have the inside hunter's scoop to go in there and kill a bunch of deer and I don't know, do whatever hunters do. I've never hunted. The most I've ever done was I accidentally killed a bird. I had a BB gun. I was pointing it at a tree, and I saw a bird in the sight, and I was just gonna spook it by shooting a branch near it, and I killed that bird. And I am sorry. I'm sorry. Anyway, so they're out there on their way to the woods, and they stumble on a bar where they're trying to pick up some beer for the trip, basically, and immediately they kind of don't get along well with the locals, and apparently this group that they don't get along very well with. Apparently, in this group, Billy Bob Thornton's in there, and I was looking for him because I read before I started watching it, this was his first film appearance, and so I'm looking for him. Like, which one is he? And I couldn't see him because they all look. I hate to say this, but they all look the same. There's just white dudes with beards and like, you know, redneck clothing, I guess, which is camouflage and caps. I don't know, but I couldn't see him. If you watch this movie and you can tell me which one of those rednecks is Billy Bob Thornton, please do, because I couldn't fucking find him. Anyway, so they get into a verbal disagreement in the bar with a group of rednecks. They're about to get their ass kicked because most of them, including Joey Travolta, who's kind of a big guy, most of them are total pussies. And this redneck group's like, give me $50, all of you, for whatever reason, and they're about to like give them $50 for nothing, and then Clu Gulager, Daddy Boy, comes out and just kicks their asses, and they're all just like stunned, as was I, because this is like the oldest guy in the group, and he's kicking everybody's ass. So, good on you, Clu. After that, they go out into the woods and set up camp, and there's a little car chase before that, but it's very like Dukes of Hazzard ridiculousness, and they end up in the woods, and they slowly realize that there are poachers out there hunting in these woods, which are, I guess, private, and they run in with them. They also have a run-in with some forest rangers, who basically, these forest rangers are the crazy old man of this movie. So in a lot of horror movies, there's always like a crazy old man going, don't go out in there, you'll meet your end, and nobody listens to them. These forest rangers, who have the authority of like knowing the woods, knowing what's going on, they talk to these city folk, and they're like, hey, you know, you really shouldn't be hunting out here. There's some like poachers that they're basically killing everything they can and selling it to some local fast food place. There's been some hunters that have gone missing. You guys should just go home. And they're like, no, we'll take our chances. I'm like, this is not a wild old man. This is not some crazy prophesizing crazy person telling you to leave. These are cops, woods cops, that are telling you to get out of here because there are some weird ass people in these woods. And of course they don't listen. So they keep trying to hunt, and immediately they start running into these rednecks, and then shit starts getting bloody very quick. So among the bad guy redneck cast, we have Billy Drago, who is a just great villain, great evil like face. He has a resting evil face. Basically, he could be. I don't think he's ever played a good guy in any film. He was in The Untouchables. He was in Mirror Mirror 3, which I still haven't seen. Really want to see it. Another actor who's with the Rednecks is Bruce Glover. And if you don't know Bruce Glover, you definitely know his son, Crispin Glover. And this movie, this performance in this film is, I think, Crispin, like, glommed onto that and just used that for the rest of his career, because Bruce is so insane as one of the rednecks. He's I think his name is, like, One Eye or something, because he's got one like crazy eye, and he's always like, they're gonna kill you, they're gonna kill you, and it is so ridiculously over the top and a little annoying at some points, but still you're okay with it. It gets really ridiculous. Okay, here are my problems with the movie. The rednecks are too over the top. They're like no rednecks ever acted like this. But you know, it's a movie. Everything is exaggerated, and there. I feel like there could have been a couple more like interesting deaths, but they kind of limited it to like 5 or 6. But pretty entertaining. Uh, I wouldn't say it's a classic because I mean obviously it isn't, but I say it deserves a look, especially if you're a redneck exploitation completist. If you've already seen Deliverance and you've seen Southern Comfort, which is, in my opinion, a fine example of redneck exploitation, and much better than this film. But if you got nothing else, watch Hunter's Blood. It'll entertain you. It's not going to be the great thing that you've seen ever, but here's what it's got going for you. It's got Joey Travolta, who's like basically like a big goofy John Travolta, but stupider. It's got crazy ass Bruce Glover just squealing and making just the most ridiculous faces you've ever seen. It's got Sam Bottoms, not Timothy Bottoms, Ripper Man. It's got Clu Gulager, awesome name, tough as shit old man. Uh, and it's got rednecks galore, and it's just fun, but not too fun. So there you go. Day 17 of B Movie Euphoria's 31 Days of Horror. See you tomorrow. Uh, Maybe I might double up and skip tomorrow because I'm going to see Halloween tomorrow. And oh boy, see ya.